I were in McDonald's, I got it greeted just like I already published. And then McDonald's had a problem. They explained to me the management of the fast food. Simply that they had a problem, an accident. There was a way there are not socks for electrical supplies. Reason to plug in. I have a problem, I can't replace the battery, and I still cannot work. Keeps on making damages to me over anything that I try to go ahead, and any job that I try to get, they are going to be in the middle for making me damages, saying to the people who should ever employ me except the parasites and the degenerates that they got ready for, that I am a very psycho, a very demon, a very violent psychopath, and I will make them damages, and I am a very difficult person to deal with, and not verbal. And also degenerate, and also thieves, and also liar, and also junkie, and all the generations that keeps on making all around. So anything that I will try, they will set me with nothing but depending on my mother. And if ICC or the United Nations try to reach out to me, they are going to be in the middle for they to be damaged or destroyed with any invention as any degeneration, and also rob anything that they will send me, like still does. And making up any shit like I will sign them like a psychopath, telling one story and after telling another, to making prejudice and damages to them, or recreating after my psychopathy, supposedly, about that I will sign them any rights to possessing and having anything that ICC or United Nations or states will ever send me. Well, like I was saying, the reality of this all is that I came on making something around my family, which International Criminal Court and US judges and also Israel, which they were really struggled with so much problem in Israel. They are having really situations, same in the US, not the world actually, but you understand what I mean. And ask me please to go a little bit with family and try something around, and we will see what to do next around this whole, and this the generations make it still the same. So suddenly I just, not being like I said in the before video, dishumanized myself, at understanding myself over my family, and being like, this degenerate says that I gotta be a hard, disgusting, cold degenerate, but get ready, cold word would be. All around, and some other like this is abolic and hypoabolic, and also emotional, and so like Rudalier, son of a shit, forensic, we're saying all the time and telling this is what it is. It is a psychopath and psychotic, and that's what it happens. He is 4 minutes talking, son of a shit. Disgusting mother, criminal, sodomaki, shit of a son. With pardon of the biological, surely there doesn't has no much to do with it. Well, the reality of this all, and I'm sorry. Pardon. The reality of this all is actually the point of crush. I got a crush on you, sweetie pie, right? Let's something like, I got a crush on you, sweetie pie. How about? Well, the reality is, cheers. Oh my god. I am a little bit tense and sorry. Nervous. A little bit, the word overreached, encolorizado, colorized, will be something like. Alright. The situation here around will be like, I just went about, while making what I normally do, I suppose, delusional delirious, whack, 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 right? Well, in the middle of this all, I have this grand aunt, which I'm going to publish the photo. And this grand aunt that I got a bit of a guest there, she had a very small TV for long years. And this 14 inches small TV, very small chip trademark, something like Sky, around Blue Sky or something like that, which it is a very trademark over devices that are for commercializing, ask for any other that wants to stamp them trademark and making the same product over sailing around. It happens in a lot of ways in all of the world. And well, it got broken. And she is a very person which has a very condition of health. She has a diminished state. She cannot move no much. She cannot go up no much. We don't have no affordable condition and character of economics, and I have not the chances to go ahead over a job which giving me and providing me the chances so I can do something, or at the reality the actually I was seeking for all the time to get out of here, and ICC and anybody to can reach me out with some help, or I can do something respectable or not honorable in order so I can get out, which always we're trying to. So suddenly this disgusting shit of the hell keeps on making the same thing on, and keeps on playing the take it all off, and we gotta have that power and make it all deal just like we say. And suddenly happens that point of this all that I supposedly been in jail all through this afternoon and this day and since last night here in this disgusting shit about the degenerates country with the burden of the victims and innocents. Fuckets. SODOMA, sorry the word. And also blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing. I became in latency, they says, and they are this kind. Pedophilics, the degenerates. Pretends I the common latency said so choky ha ha ha. Latency whom? Do you need a kid to blow you, you son of a shit? I'm sure you do. Disgusting abomination. So suddenly the point of this all reality came around. The certainly case over further this all, I went just around wandering over the since 1500 until 20 or 2100 here in Buenos Aires, the electronic stores works on Sunday, especially shoppings. So suddenly you caught in a mall, you have anything open like you to buy freely, and the chains normally does too. And for I said what I said recent, the son of a shit of PFA, PNA, PSA, GN, Z-Day, Metropolitana RID, or RDI, went all around with machetes to killing people because of I said what they are. Everyone. Thus, the list that ICC already published, like dangerous criminals for hunting all over the world. And the list, donkey. Everyone. All the degenerates Ejército Argentino. Everyone. All Kirchners. So suddenly the reality of this were that I just went to help and assist my related, my grand aunt, that for a long time I didn't see because if I were under threat and under damages, and we had these moments and these situations that I couldn't do no much for, and anytime that I were approaching, they were making disasters in the generations just like them today. And of course, the Mercedes Torrego home for retired women, there doesn't exist. There's neither Bacacay Street 2051, and neither Elvira Ballester, and the extras. So suddenly I just seen her, and she had this savings, which she was saving because of she wanted on the responsibility I do accomplish to her over her will with my mother, that I to deliver into cremation, and she didn't want to be buried. She didn't want it removed. So suddenly she said, I'm going to save my money for you to do my will. And suddenly there came the reality of this, and she said, well, I got broken my TV. We can do something with it. How much it cost? So we told her. My sister perhaps has a used one that you can really use, and having still well stayed and having a still moment for the lifetime of the product, and you can have a TV with no spending. And suddenly she said, no, but I don't want nothing borrowed, because of the reality of this is whenever this get broken I cannot pay for, and the paying for I'd rather to buy some new for myself on my own and just keep it for my own and not have to nothing blah 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 blah. Alright. Second for any around prices and the products and anything. So after I just checked all around anything as accessible, I was looking for a monitor TV or something, thinking that perhaps on 18 inches or 20 inches will be cheaper, but no, are expensivest. So suddenly there were the offer of the day. I just went to, like I said, Audio Flores, and suddenly this never existed neither, and this will be a fortune for myself, and I'm fortune. Alright, so suddenly this catalog of products comprises, and my mother have seen here near there is another store. So I went to Flores and I seen this LED TV, this 24 inches one, in a very accessible price. So suddenly I just checked for if the man will make me any offer. And inside were this son of a snake making the chat for the telling any kind of a crap and watching out I do not drop nothing, and I do not to become violent cycle, BFA Sodoma. So suddenly the reality of this, I will be delivering all the time, and even this all will be delivered as never happened. Nothing at all, of course. So the reality is I just bought this TV. I went back to the place of my friend aunt. I installed the TV, I programmed the TV over the whole of the channels for she can watch, because if she cannot be out and we cannot afford the paying cars, rent cars or taxi cabs all the time or any time to go out. So suddenly she doesn't have no distraction, has a very deteriorated, that says, it is not really the right word, deteriorated. But the reality of this word will be around, she cuts a very diminished state of her own capacity, because of she is not in activity and she has a very severe condition over her neuromotor, if you want to call them extras, around her own life. So suddenly, over the medications taken and anything else, she most of all sleeps and is inside that little apartment in this Mercedes Torrego home for retirement woman, and we're simply right there all the time in this whole long days, having a very so easy life, having so shorty, small, walking around, so laid up steps around. So what the reality of this whole, she doesn't do no much, and she doesn't has no much like to go ahead and making, but having a very sedentary life. Well, the reality of this whole is like I just set her the TV working, on, turned on, sorry, and she kept watching TV because of there is the one of the so few with counting distractions she can have. Well, the reality, the money of her and everything of her, so suddenly it happened like whenever I just were doing what I've done, Guillermo Horacio Prince, post pastor of Argentina, psycho hell turned abomination, demon, psychopath, criminal, degenerate, started giving voices first and after this all that if I will ever say anything that he were making, he will send to killing and sending to be captured, raped and murdered and robbed in all they had to any of mine or related or friends, if I will ever say anything. Which I said already a link which it is published and in the United States of America and Israel already is the video that I just cut it because of depleted my battery in the McDonalds, which I am aiming to publish now. This is 2101 Buenos Aires City, my address, at this April 13th. And simply the reality of this all, which were the point, started the whole of it, the used, besmirched, abduct, yield, that he lives healing people, manipulating, using people, destroying people, the it's that generates and it's prostitutes. So cheap hell shit. Pretended of holies and anointed and authorities, them hell demons of hell shit. Destroying people all around permanently, and robbing to people and manipulating and suppressing people, and with them gang, them mob of armed forces, Ejército Argentino, government of the City of Buenos Aires, and Kirchners, all around, making business and trade over less humanity. The son of a shit. So the reality of this all came at the point of started to hitting friends of mine, related of mine, people all around, the same degenerates that eat this prostitute. Guillermo Horacio Prince, pretended of pastor evangelic, has inside of the armed forces and the government of hell of Buenos Aires, and attacking the hell out, kicking the hell out in the floors, like hell porks, totally out of mind, like they are, psychopaths. Because of said that I stolen Guillermo Horacio Prince and a friend of him, saying first I stolen a TV while he were showing the friends of his in the middle of the street out of the packaging. After said with the packaging, after said with the bags, and after that said also with the ticket of Boyd, that is the name of Elvira Ballester, my grand aunt, that I'm going to publish here. So the reality of this all came at the point of this all started to attacking and saying lie, 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 you are lying, and after this all said void it with the money that is stolen to bring like everything else is and giving money to its grand aunt, we are going to get inside its apartment and taking everything that it got because what belongs to us, and using the money of Carnival too. And telling after this all that see the intelligence of state of Argentina and Prefectura Naval Argentina and the bodies of Osvaldo Carnival and Cabrera, PFA, started to make in the chat for the giving supposed evidential supports and a lot of other, telling that all of that were happening and they shown it. Forgeries, lies, and degenerations to make less humanity, and behind this all is Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner and Aníbal Fernández and officialism, making trades and trick and saying everything, and all of that is true. And conscience about what they are doing and understanding consciously that it is a lie. And they are hating this, saying this gotta be done and we are going to kill them all and we are going to keep on doing because of this is what have to be done about the dumb shit of a devil that they got as master, Luciano Troviano the Beast. So the reality of this all were, I just simply went to making a simple thing like anybody will do. And this seeks for any choice, any chance, any argument, any moment, anything, for the making and ahead of the generations that they are. And suddenly the point of this, we're murdering, since I just done this until now, 2,268 persons in Gibson. And with this all also, where the reality of what I'm gonna tell you. Suddenly, on this all while we're happening, which, this point, that I were around, and that we were trying and dealing with some things else's trying to help people. This sick of them shit went to the Federal Police of Argentina Central Belgrano Avenue intersection, Luis San Spanish Street, and got inside at the Morano Street door and started to, out loud screaming, hunt each all and go to rape them and kill them. And people inside saw the son of a shit, the big son of a making scandals, saying that disgusting, the word with B about me, started to giving voices all around that I am lying and I am forging and making crime with you all, and you gotta answer because of I am the prophet of the government of the world. And the cycle them Sodoma shed inside, saw people and started to hitting anyone that could have relation over no person. And started to go all around with the car saying, let's rape them all, let's rape them all, and making the chap take everything that they cut off. And the son of a shit, this Guillermo de Horacio Prim, pretended of pastor evangelic, is still around seeking for who to induct and who to incitate and instigate to go to making the generations that it is for. So suddenly the point of this is, whatever I do, whatever I do not, and even trying to get out, this son of a shit, piece of shit, with the pieces of shit of it, are going to do this kind of things. So suddenly, Cabrera and Carnival and Crudo saying this is our opportunity, let's taking our share. And went out to making denounces and saying, oh, this is true, and we have more for you to have with forgery, saying evidential support. So the reality of this all is, with this older generation, there were people that wanted to do something with some automatic him, and they were on the Tishka in a setup. They pretended to helping me, and they were under invention of judicial, policial, and national security and defense, telling they were narcos and terrorism and criminal, money using, laundry, and a very organization of criminals to reduce and taking everything away, saying this son of a, for me, it's not going to escape and it's not going to have nothing. Everything of it belongs to us because of free command, of course, says the fuckers of hell. So the reality of this all comes at the point that this sick of them shit that I'm going to reduce to the shit they are, so sooner, suddenly came to be the point of this soul, which I couldn't get out and I couldn't receive nothing, which I had no idea. And whenever I knew, this disgusting hell shit were about to jump up on them, kidnap them, robbing them, raping them, and murdering them like we're doing always. So suddenly, Argentina is under threat because of I had the possibility to giving them the evidences of everything, as the inventions, as the whole arrangement, as the whole generations, which turns to saying that they are implicated for attempting and making terrorism and damages against the government of the Argentina, to kidnap people and disappear them all, over inventions and the generations. And suddenly the point of this all came at the allegations over I will be a very so smart and healthy and manipulative one. The idea of them is, I will realize, I will be guesser, I will be a teller, I will check around, I will see it all, and I will read and making guessing to the government of the Argentina, and my friends will have the same capacity to read, watch, see, and run and escape, manipulate, and going away. So suddenly puts in the front of the stage saying nothing on this happened, everything is a lie. And under because of the evangelics will support us, making a whole damn shit of a lies, using people, healing people, destroying people with the whole forgery and all son of a shit, making up any crap and telling that they knows what they says and they to be true. And we to conspire and manipulate over paranormal the way they do, what they are. Hell, them shit. So suddenly comes the reality of this all that points on this all Amia Daya and diplomats in Argentina is watched like terrorism and conspiracy against the government of the Argentina for the attempt against the patriot, they say, so opportunistic, so manipulatively, the generation. And suddenly the point of this all, and these whack the generate and all invention the generation that they are, that they says I and we are, is always say and is helping them and doing the whole of this, and we are not going to put in the secret of state and neither the summary secret in front of the everybody, but this is it, our law, and we know what we are dealing, and this is what we say, and we are going to put in just as they says, the sickle horse, and the first one, CFK. So suddenly the point of this all came at the reality that with this all happening, and with this all around our lives, it were not the whole. Internated, put him in jail, already were, already happening, because of races against the authority of the Lord, of course, and offenses, and called us whores and fags, and the point of this all is exactly the same all ever. Are the generation and always were this and lived for and of this, the reason why I am making my job. I'm gonna make my job and one or another over the right best ever just orders to making it law. I'm going to make them burn in hell. Shalom. So suddenly over these old realities, I've just done what I've done, and there are people under threat with inventions saying that it is what we say, and whoever says no gets punched, gets attacked, kicked like hell by this hell pork Sodoma. Psychopaths the generation, and making more forgery and putting one on another for the keep on sustaining the whole damn shit before that understanding is false, going to trying to kill International Criminal Court in New York and whatever they to be, for they to say it's always what we say. And even presidents of state. So suddenly this reality is how crazy and delusional and delirious I will really be. Do you believe this is a delirious thing and delusional state? And do you ever think that I can say any truth? Watch yourself. The last address that lies on office given, not about the chat and the resources for the help. Over the informing or briefing or noticing population for the well of the communities. You can find out yourself if you went over there. What you do and what you not do and how to take care of yourself and watch who this all are here as in the whole of the states. And suddenly the point of this insists us with the whole on and on and on, all about from the first to the last invention for the generation lie and criminals sick of them shit saying they've done to me already. So the point of this is I am doing to them now, and they are going to wish never get born. Thank God. And I give it this. https www RDMTCLT 88888888888 BTNTBTLT.int F5 OS recall the last key here, the last plate ICC. And this all at the point of the reality. To be clear around this, even trying to hunt like this, peoples all around the world, especially related on me, and ICCs, and states, and everyone else's, forging and making up and telling that the photo I taken with my Android, also taken by them, which I gotta have in my Google already, saying that it's Timson as stolen and forged, and keeps on making the whole thing and also forging this. Salucimos. So suddenly this is what I say. This degenerate Guillermo Supreme is over https www. Cuando se es una perra de Lucifer, Guillermo Supreme se lleva todos los premios. .int F7 OS recall, just like before. So suddenly this point over this, to tell exactly what it is. Actually, bent gaat imini gadash met gewolde rechtian gadim. Koplet gamal bet gamal bent gadash kia da gadim. He insists us with the same saying that I have friends, that I have people that supports me and helps me and are accomplices with me, that I give them and share the money that I stolen, and I use the money that I stolen, and they supports me, that they gotta be all in jail and they gotta be all dead, and they has the evidences, and everybody has Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner shown and sent to be researched. With Aníbal Fernandez, with officialism, Carlos Arbatia. DNI 18,664,108 is a 666 and also has it stamped in ID. So suddenly the point of this and plot malvitachim is in the best ever research of the Sopledacha SODOMA that generates faggots, Ejército Argentino, and the prostitute of Thames, Cristina Kirchner, for the making the best less humanity and getting like, miss and man, we are innocent and we are the stars and watch us, lords and the cares of Sodoma. Will I be in jail? Will I be re-kidnapped, saying internation, with the fog of the whole invention and the generation saying secret of state, summary secret, Argentinian law, right of state, of course, patriot. Well, murders everybody. https www. Nosotros lo dijimos primero y así dice lo que nosotros queremos. Ahí tenés, te lo mostré. .int F12 OS recall, just like before. All followed in Spanish. You didn't have it all. My name again, Alejandro Mario Blanco REDEMI, April 13th, 2014, 2118. My address.